Hey, have you ever watched a magician perform a magic trick? The good ones will cause your eyes to deceive you. Don't approach faith like a magic trick. Now, I won't be performing any magic tricks this morning, just welcoming you to Mornings with Bishop Robert and saying that I'm grateful you're here. My goal is to introduce people to the Jesus they never knew, and then help them get to know him and his word personally and better. So if our time together today speaks to your heart, let me invite you to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Also, click the link in the description to join our email list and get Mornings with Bishop Robert sent directly to your inbox each morning. And there's lots of other great benefits. So here we go. Grab a cup, lift it up, and let's start today's study. You know, the world-renowned magicians Penn and Teller host a television program called Fool Us, where magicians young and old come from all over the world to try and fool them. Most don't, but some do. And it's fun to watch the top magicians in the world say, "Well, you fooled us," and then step up to the stage and award the person with a trophy. Sometimes when the trick is over, I try to watch the video over and over again to see if I can figure out how the person did it. Well, today's verse is a question that Jesus asked his disciples. Why are you troubled? And why do doubts rise in your hearts? Now let me set the stage so you can understand the reason behind the question. This was the day that Jesus had resurrected from the dead. So it had been a tough couple days for his disciples. They had seen Jesus arrested. They had fled and abandoned him. One of them had watched his crucifixion and had watched him die. Then they spent the next 2 days hiding behind locked doors, wondering if they were next. Now, earlier that day, some of the women who were among their number came and told them something about angels appearing to them when they went to the tomb and Jesus' body being gone. And the angels saying he had risen from the dead. But their words seemed like nonsense to them. They didn't believe the women. And then it happened. That very evening, while the disciples were together with the doors locked for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood among them. He didn't knock on the door or climb in a window. He apparently just walked through the wall and totally freaked them out. Yeah, sure, they were startled and frightened, thinking they'd seen a spirit. They couldn't believe their eyes. But Jesus was standing there in the flesh. And that's when he asked them, "Why are your hearts troubled? Why do doubts arise in them?" Now you may be thinking, of course they're troubled. Jesus had been brutally murdered before their very eyes. It was no magic trick or staged delusion. The disciples didn't smile and say, "Well, you fooled us," and gave Jesus a trophy. No, Jesus had been really dead. They knew he had been really dead. And they thought they were next. Then he walks through the wall and changes their world. Troubled hearts and disbelief give way to joy and amazement. And then, in the ultimate "I told you so," Jesus said to them, "These are the words I spoke to you while I was still with you. Everything must be fulfilled that's written about me in the law of Moses, the prophets, and the Psalms." Then he opened their minds to understand the scriptures, and they understood it all. They understood that Jesus was the fulfillment of the promises, the sacrifice that fulfilled every sacrificial requirement, the means of total and absolute forgiveness. They understood that he had paid the debt they owed for their sins. They understood his divinity They understood their call. Their doubts gave way to faith. Their troubled hearts were filled with joy. Wonder was replaced with worship. Did you know that Jesus is still walking through walls? You and I build walls around our hearts. Life is hard, and it often hurts. Bad. We hide in our own little rooms with the doors locked for fear that someone may find us and hurt us some more. And then one day, Jesus walks in, unannounced, and offers you peace. Peace with your past, certainly. Peace in the midst of today's battles. And peace as you and he face your future, even eternity. He doesn't make all the battles go away, and he doesn't promise there'll be no more pain ever. He simply promises that you'll never, ever have to face them alone again. The question you and I have to answer, it's the same one he asked his disciples. Why are you troubled? And why do doubts arise in your hearts? Well, we're troubled for the same reasons they were. I mean, Jesus was standing in front of them with the offer of a lifetime, and they couldn't believe their eyes. It was too amazing. Almost too good to be true. But his resurrection was real. And so was his offer of forgiveness, life, joy, and peace. His resurrection was real. His resurrection changed everything. And it still does. This morning, he's walking through the walls of your heart and making the same offer to you. Forgiveness, faith, freedom. The disciples surrendered their doubts and received all he had offered. Will you? Hey, one more thing. Can I ask you to help me introduce people to the Jesus they never knew? And help them get to know him and his word personally and better. Please like this video to help more people see it. And then click follow or subscribe so that you and I can get together every day. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get a free copy of my book, Count to One, and get Mornings with Bishop Robert sent to your inbox every single day. And one more thing. Please share this video with a friend. Because as you do, you're part of the team touching more than 1 million hearts all over the world with the love of Jesus. Thanks for helping.